Welcome back. Before we proceed to chapter 2 of my collection video, I wanted to show you guys a couple of a few pickups I obtained recently. This is the Cold Prey trilogy from Second Sight. This is the box set. And this arrived at my doorstep last week. Very nice collection there. This is a series of, I think they're Swedish slasher films. That have been long unavailable on any legitimate Blu-ray release. These are Blu-rays. That's 1, 2, and 3. Region locked to B, region B. So if you grab this, they lock these to region B. So you'll need a region-free player. It's the booklet. As you can see, it's fairly thick. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. This was, this is, I think I've only seen the first one, but I did enjoy it. It was a DVD, I think from Anchor Bay. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but I think it was an old Anchor Bay release on DVD, and that was many, many years ago. But here we now have the complete trilogy on Blu-ray, at least from Second Sight. Next up is The Blood Rose. Mondo Macabro. It's a 4K update. Caught that just in time. Kind of hard to do these with one hand. That's the slip. And this is Inquisition, another 4K update. The slip cover's a little plain. It's not too bad, but it is plain. If you don't like minimalism, that could be a problem. Slips are also a little tight on these. All right, here we go. That's Inquisition. This is a Spanish film, 1976, featuring Paul Naschy. All right, so let's get on with my collection video. We last left off here at Duel on the D section. So we're not going to continue on to this special shelf. This is my Godfather 50 years collector's edition box set on 4K. I grabbed this from the movie room. It's the trilogy. This is a one-click. A one-click, for those who may not be aware, is it's these premium labels from China, the Czech Republic, and other overseas areas. They release these steelbook editions of these movies, and basically it's just the same movie with 3 different steelbook editions. And that's the original trilogy. And up here is Godfather 3, also a one-click. I am a big fan of the third film. All right, down here is the Star Trek motion picture, the director's edition. This is the special collector's box set that came out a few years ago. All right, so that's my Wonder Years locker, which I'm very proud of. This is the Ingmar Bergman's Cinema collection from Criterion. Big, huge box. And this is the only spot I could find for my Godzilla Showa era book thing here. It's huge and not many places I could put that on, but this is a good spot for it. All right, up here on my second special shelf, this is where I keep all the collectibles. Well, many of them, not all. All right, so that's the Kill Bill collector's box from Imprint. Never Ending Story, also from Imprint. Awesome edition. And then there's The Keep from Imprint as well. Some TV collections. That's the X-Files, MacGyver from Germany, still sealed. This is my Book of the Dead replica. No discs, it's just a replica of the book from the film. Pretty cool. And of course the Evil Dead trilogy here. This is a custom box with some custom slipcases. Family Ties. Back there is the Ghostbusters thingamajig. I don't know what they call that, but it's the 4K set that came out that was kind of hard to find for a while. Back behind my monolith is The Fifth Element. This is a UK collector's box set. Pretty snazzy. And then there's the my Mantelab 2001 A Space Odyssey one click. Here are my Lord of the Rings trilogy collection. I think these are called one clicks. I'm not sure, but these were called one clicks to the best of my knowledge and my recollection. And these are, the material on this is very velvety kind of type of material here. Feels good. Two Towers and of course Return of the King. Back there is The Ring from the film. This was not part of this collection here. This came in a different collection that I own. I currently don't have a spot for that, so for the moment it'll be going right behind the Return of the King. If it stays put, there you go. Alright, so here is The Wild Geese. This is from Severin. This is a UK release. Pretty big box set here. Wild Geese. I like my war films. And this is a UK series of collector's editions called the Film Vault. That's the one for Scarface. Pretty cool. That's The Shining, which is still sealed. Another version of 2001, The Space Odyssey. I hope I don't drop any of these. This is Shawshank Redemption. They're all backwards for some reason. Apollo 13. And Poltergeist. These are Criterion box set, Agnes Varda. Reservoir Dogs from Germany, this box set. And the recent Rambo collection there. Kathy's Curse, Dawn of the Dead, Phantasm. This version of ET is, I believe it was a DVD edition. It came with a really nice book. Sorry about the dust. Yeah, it's a very nice edition, and this was an old DVD edition, and I decided to keep it because it's just a really nice edition of the film with a book and all that. And I think it had a CD soundtrack, a film Cenotype. Yeah, it's a pretty cool edition, so I kept that. And here's a little shrine I have for Lucio Fulci. This is his glorious and infamous trilogy, House by the Cemetery. That is a media book. That's The Gates of Hell and The Beyond, of course, from Grindhouse Releasing. Back there is The Exorcist. This is from, I think it's Cinema Museum. It's a one-click. That's My Spirited Away. Collector's edition from Shout. Waterworld with the extended edition in 4K. That's a German release from Playon, I think. I don't have all of the Columbia classics. I own 2 volumes. This is 4, I believe, and back there, I think it's 3, volume 3. There's Leon, one click. This is Unforgiven from Media. I think this is Media Psychos. It's a very exclusive boutique. It's a kind of like a members only thing. And once in a while they have these exclusives. And next to that is my old Ben-Hur Blu-ray collector's edition. That was the 50th anniversary edition. I do have the 4K, but because this is such a nice version, I decided to keep that. Back there, Planet of the Apes, the 40-year evolution Blu-ray box set. James Bond on DVD. These were DVD releases. Here is my James Bond Sean Connery 4K library set, steelbook set. That's the Freddy Krueger. Steelbooks 4K. The awesome Friday the 13th box set from Shout Factory. Blade Runner, another one click, and the old briefcase edition of Blade Runner. Highly collectible. Back there, Gone with the Wind. I am going to keep this despite the fact that the 4K is coming. That's the beautiful velvet box set that came out for the some edition. This movie is very old. Maybe this 80th. That's The Lost Boys, The Wicker Man from the UK box set, Night of the Living Dead 1968, German release. Here is my Drive box set from Second Sight, and next to that is Resident Evil from Sony and the Dark Knight trilogy box set. All right, give me just a second here. I lost the light here. There we go. All right, moving on. Let me climb on my ladder here. Make this easier. Here's another version of Duel. Here's Dune, David Lynch. Dune, 84 from Arrow Video, 4K. The new Dune Steelbook. Dune Part 2. Dune Warriors. This is an old 80s action movie released by Code Red. That's Dunkirk. On to the E's. We have The Eagle Has Landed from Imprint. That's the Earthling. Earthquake. East End Girls. East End Hustle. Eastern Promises. Eaten Alive, the 1985 cannibal movie from Umberto Lenzi. Here's the 1975 version. Actually, not a version, but this is another film called Eaten Alive. This is the 75 edition. Did Toby Hooper direct it? I believe he did. The Edge. Edge of the Axe. Edge of Eternity. Edge of Tomorrow. Here's an interesting film, Eden Log. This is a French film. Eiger Sanction. Electric Dreams from Second Sight. The Studio Canal Elephant Man. Elevation. Anthony Mackie, recent film. Elysium, Steelbook. It's Emerald Forest. Emmanuel. Emperor of the North. Empire of the Ants. Empire of the Sun. The End. End of Days. Endgame. Endless Descent. End of the Line. TerraVision. End of Watch, Steelbook. Whew, arms are tired. Here's Endangered Species, Enemy Mine, Twilight Time, Enemy of the State, Enemy Territory, Enter the Dragon, The Entity, Erin Brockovich, Equalizer, Equalizer 2, and 3. Here's Equilibrium. Cool little slipcase. It's a Blu-ray. That's Eraser, the UK box set. Escape from Alcatraz, awesome. Escape from the Bronx. Escape Plan. Escape to Athena and March or Die. Escape from Death, Lucio Fulci presents. Escape from New York. One version of that, and another version. This is the Shout Steelbook. Actually, it's not a Steelbook, it's just a regular edition. This is a custom slip. And so is that. That's a Steelbook in there. Escape from Women's Prison. The SKPs, Gene Roland film. Here's a Blu-ray edition of E.T. Digibook 100th anniversary, but there is a 4K in there. Up here, Evil Dead 2013. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's a Steelbook. Eurocrime Rarities, Volume 1. Europa Report. Europe Trilogy. Lars von Trier. Eve of Destruction. That's Event Horizon, UK box set. Everest. Evictors. The Evil. Evil Dead, new Steelbook. Evil Dead Rise. Evil Clutch, Italian release. Evil Laugh. Evil That Men Do. Evils of the Night. Evil Speak, Evil Under the Sun, The Excalibur. This is a DVD, Executioner Part 2 and Frozen Scream, Executive Decision, Ex Machina. Cool edition there. Sleek. That's Expendables 1, 2, that's Part 3, standard Blu-ray, not Steelbook, and 4, the worst of the bunch. But still good, still fun. Experts, Explorers. I did not go for the Vinegar Syndrome box set. This was good enough. The movie was not that good to me, in my opinion. The Exterminator. This is a custom slip for Exterminators of the Year 3000. This is from Shout. Good movie. Mad Max ripoff. I love those Mad Max ripoffs. Extreme Prejudice. That's Extremities. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Exorcismo. Defying a Dictator and Raising Hell in Post-Franco Spain. That's from Severin. Exorcist Bible Edition. This is a UK release. Here's a version of The Exorcist from Italy. Exorcist 2 and 3. Another version of 3 in media book form. And Exorcist Believer, which was pretty good. It wasn't as bad as it was made out to be. Exterminator 2, this should go next to Part 1. Right there. Exodus, Gods and Kings. The Eyeball, Umberto Lenzi. It's a nice little chipboard box from '88. I See You, good movie from featuring Stallone. Eye of the Tiger, Eyes of Laura Mars, Eyes of a Stranger, and of course, Eyes Wide Shut, 4K. Fulci for Fake. It's a good documentary about the man's life. It's Falling Down on 4K. The Furious films. That's 1. That's Too Fast, Too Furious. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious 5. Furious 6. 7. Fate of the Furious, F9, The Fast Saga. I did not grab 10. Here's Fight Club, The Faculty, Ferris Bueller, Stay Off, Frankenstein 80, The Fan, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, The Forest, Future World, Final Stab. This is a slasher from Massacre Video. Couple versions of Four Flies on Grey Velvet. That's the Severin 4K, and this is a German release. Great film. Final Justice, The Freshman, The Fall Guy, Frozen, good movie. The Frame, Frailty, Final Destination 2, 3, The Final Destination, that's Part 4. 5 is very good, and I really enjoyed 6, Bloodlines. Friday the 13th, UK release on 4K edition, also Part 2. Friday the 13th remake, Fiend, Fire with Ice, Firstborn, that's Free Jack. Here's a trio of Z-grade shark movies from Severin called Feeding Frenzy, Italian Sharksploitation Collection, with these movies. I like that they each have their own slipcase, slipcover. Here's Final Fantasy. Fear Has 1,000 Eyes. The Fire Next Time. This is a TV movie from 1993 on DVD. Another DVD is here's The Forsaken, Frankenhooker, the recent 4K, Flight Risk, On Deadly Ground. It's a Spanish Blu-ray, the bootleg. Firefox and Heartbreak Ridge. Fortress, the 1993 is it film? 1993. This should be on 4K. First Power. Excellent film. Frequency with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Faster. Here's a UK release. Fear in the Night. Hammer film. Here is another UK release. This is Duck You Sucker, aka Fistful of Dynamite. Pretty cool release. Chipboard box. That's a Blu-ray, by the way, not a 4K. Fraternity Vacation. Here's The Forest. Fatal Attraction. Final Exam. The Fama. Flight Night. Final Countdown. Fury. Force of One. The Flesh and Blood Show. I also have this in a Pete Walker collection box set from 88 Films. Flettacha and Flettacha Lives. I've never seen these films before. Here's the Freeway collection from Vinegar Syndrome. Fancy box set. Fancy schmancy box set. Fear City. This is from the UK. Flashdance. Fortress of America. The Excellent Frightmare. Faceless. Female Executioner. Fear No Evil and Ritual of Evil. I think these are TV movies. The Food of the Gods. Look at that artwork. Isn't that nice? Frogs. Forbidden World. Femme Fatale. Fear City. Is it another copy of that, I think? Could be wrong. Forced Vengeance. Fat and Away. Another movie called The Fan. Face Off. The Flintstones. Stone Book. 4K looks great, by the way. Foul Play. That's the Pete Walker box set I was talking about. With all these movies. Faces of Death on 4K. Part 2 was just announced. Here's a media book of Part 2. And one of Part 3. Firewalker. From Beyond the Grave. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Flight of the Phoenix. Awesome movie. Force 10 from Navarone. That's the Indicator edition from Australia. Fright. Fade In. The Fly. Blu-ray and Part 2. The Funhouse. Shout's Last Good Blu-ray, Funeral Home. I think this was released in January of 25. I could be wrong, but yeah, this was long unavailable on legitimate Blu-ray. I think there was a bootleg DVD in Canada, but yeah, this finally got a release in the States and looks great. It's a really creepy old slasher movie from Canada. Firestarter, Fighting Back, Fear is the Key, The Far Country. It's an old Arrow Academy release. $5 for an August Moon, A Fistful of Dollars, Foxy Brown, FX 1 and 2 from Arrow. And I also have the Kino editions, and that's Fearless. Excellent film with Jeff Bridges and Rosie Perez. Back there, Fat City, Fury, the 78 version with, is that Michael Douglas, I think? Not Michael Douglas, that's Kirk Douglas. A Photo of a Lady Above Suspicion, The Fifth Chord, the funny and excellent A Fish Called Wanda, for a few dollars more. Flatliners just had a slip cover, but I got rid of it. Didn't like it. Looks much better like this. Fall of the House of Usher, one of those early Arrow horizontal steelbooks on Blu-ray. Flowers in the Attic, Fade to Black, From Beyond, The Fear, Flesh for Frankenstein, Fatal Games, The Fourth Victim, Footprints, Flight of the Navigator, and 8 volumes of Forgotten Gialli. Frankenstein and the Monster from Heck. Look at all that dust. Oh boy. Frontier. Batshit crazy French extreme film. French Extremity. There's a period when they were making many of these back in the early 2000s. That is Future World. Love how that artwork goes with the black case. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Fear No Evil. Custom slip for the Fog. That contains that awesome Shout steelbook. The Final Terror. Fargo. Flesh and Blood, the 1985 movie. The guy who made RoboCop, I forget his name. The French Connection. I think part 2 is also in here somewhere. Fair Game. Fallout Season 1. I'm going to move that to the TV section. And Season 2. This is Full Metal Jacket. I'm going to keep these. There's the new Kubrick box sets coming up, but I'll keep these standalones. The Excellent Flame Over India. Fugitive. Forrest Gump. Fire in the Sky. This is the Australian edition, and also from Australia, this film called Five. It's supposed to be about the last 5 people on Earth. I have not seen that one yet, but I'm dying to watch it. Just so many things to watch. That's Goodfellas. This is also from Film Vault in the UK. Same company that made these bigger box sets here. Grindhouse collection from what is this? Via Vision from Australia. Is a great slasher movie, Girls' Night Out. The Great Escape from Arrow, looks great. The Game, The Great Silence on 4K. Greenland and Greenland 2, which was really good. I enjoyed it. Here are some Godfather steel books. This is the original. Again, this is, the material is like a velvet type thing that feels real soft when you touch it. That's part 2. And 3. I really like these designs here. Really cool design. Goonies, this is also imported. Cool edition there. I have many imports, as you can see. I'm always looking for the best looking packaging for my favorite movies, and if I have to scour the world to find them, that's what I'll do. That's what it takes, right? And it's Gladiator, another import. I do have part 2 somewhere. It's Gattaca. Pretty cool edition. The company that made this is now gone. It's a UK company. I forget the name. Short-lived company. Here's Gravity. That's Green Inferno. And Giant Spider Invasion. This is 4K from Dark Force / Code Red. Down here is Ghost Keeper, the remastered Blu-ray from Canadian International Pictures, a Vinegar Syndrome imprint. Here's Gandhi. Excellent film. I recently watched this for the first time. Really enjoyed that. Extraordinary film. The original Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I've got these separated and listed by in alphabetical order. I guess I should put these together. I don't know. Here's Ginger Snaps trilogy from the UK. On Blu-ray. For some reason they don't, the sequels are not on 4K. Here is The Ghost, Girls School Screamers. This is Graduation Day, Gang Related, The Green Mile, Grapes of Death, Gene Roland movie. Here's Ghost. This is the Ghost Galleon, the third in the Blind Dead series. And this is a 4K edition. This version of Guns of Navarone was released with this limited slipcover, and I grabbed a copy of it with the quickness because I love this film, and the slipcover went out of print pretty quickly. And you know, you have to grab these right away when if they're limited like this, and they say they're limited. Grab them. If you want them, grab them. Day one. Don't wait for sales. Here's Ghost House. This is an Umberto Lenzi film from the late 80s. That's the Media Book edition. Shout Factory released this on Blu-ray themselves with a second film, which I forget the name. Game of Survival. Ghost Dance. Ghost in the Darkness. That's The Getaway, the 94 edition. The Gray. Green Inferno. This is an 88 films release. Also known as Cannibal Holocaust 2, as you can see there. Not a very good movie, but I do enjoy movies like this. I love movies about cannibals, and it's just great, you know. That's Geostorm. The excellent The Guardian. This is a William Friedkin horror film from 1990. The awesome Ghost Story. Get Shorty. That's Ghost Town, really fun movie from the late 80s. Ghosts of Mars, which I do enjoy. A lot of people don't, but I think it's great. It's just great. It looks very good on 4K, by the way. That's Ghost Ship. The Great Alligator. Italian Cheese. This is Gina. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1, the Groot edition. Volume 2. And I still haven't seen Part 3 yet. Grizzly. Gran Torino. The first Guyver film on 4K. Part 2 was just announced. That's The Grand Duel. Grandmother's House. The Gift. Sam Raimi film. Very good. That's Great Lady Down, The Gate, and the sequel, released by Shout. Glengarry Glen Ross. That's Greed in the Sun, Gone in 60 Seconds, and Gator. Down there is G.I. Jane. Fancy box sets from Australia. Here's Gangs of New York. Excellent edition. Daniel Day-Lewis rocks. That's The Gambler from Cinematograph. Good movie. Nice edition here. That's G.I. Joe Retaliation. I think it's Part 2. I haven't seen. I don't have Part 1. I don't think I've seen Part 1. All right. Gorillas in the Mist. That's Groundhog Day. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan. Lord of the Apes. 1985. Galaxy of Terror. Geronimo. Here's a DVD. Glenn and Randa. kind of obscure movie about the end of the world from VCI. Godzilla, these are not in order. That's the New Empire. This is the 85 version. That's the first Godzilla from 2014. And here's the 1998 edition by Roland Emmerich. You know, I did like this one. It's pretty good. It's fun movie. And this is a cool edition from Blue Fans out of China. That's Godzilla vs. Kong there. And I got one more. That's King of the Monsters. Here is The Ghost Station, Korean film. That's Green Berets. Gremlins, I never did bother upgrading that to 4K. This is a Diamond Lux edition, they called it. Kind of a weird series of, yeah. Cool, but yeah, movie was not really my cup of tea. But it's a classic, so I feel like I should have it. That's The Girl with the Gifts. Gangster Squad down there. That's Guardian. This is Golden Child. Green Ice from Imprint. Imprint? Yeah, Imprint. Interesting film. With Omar Sharif, Ann Archer, and Ryan O'Neal, the driver himself. Here's Georgia. There's Jennifer Jason Leigh, Ghoulies. Sequel. And Ghoulies Go to College from Vestron. That looks like the guy from Body Snatchers. A remake. The original, I mean. Here's Galaxy Quest. Steelbook. Next to that. What's next to that? This is Girls Without Shame. That's General's Daughter. Good Guys Wear Black. Get Carter, UK edition. Gunfight at the OK Corral. Look at the artwork on this. Isn't that great? Wow. I'd love a poster of that. This film is interesting. The Godsend. It's about a baby that's born to a woman. And the baby may be, I don't know, the Antichrist. Pretty interesting film from 1980. And it's a canon movie. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's pretty good. The Godsend from Kino. This is a cool little slip that they included. And that's Graveyard Shift on 4K. I got rid of the slip. I didn't need the slip for that. It's pretty ugly. I don't really make a habit of throwing slip covers away, but if they don't, you know, the artwork on some of those are pretty nasty and gnarly, and I just don't want them. That's God Told Me To. Here's one of my favorite Clint films, The Gauntlet, On Blu-ray, this needs a 4K pretty bad, I think. Godzilla -1, or whatever it's called. This was a special order direct from the manufacturer in Japan. I was glad to grab that. Good movie, very good movie. Here is The Getaway, the original. And last but not least, here is the Hell House collection. The complete collection, 1 through 4. Yeah, it's fun films. Y'all ready for more? Let's do this. Alrighty, so way up here is Halloween 3. I've always loved this artwork. This is a padded media book. It's still sealed, as you can see. Yeah, so I grabbed this mainly for the artwork. Artwork. Pretty cool. And then I have Halloween original. These are not steel books. That's part 2. These are custom slipcases, by the way. That's 3 again. 4, 5. Curse of Michael Myers. H2O. Resurrection. And the 2 Rob Zombie entries, which I did enjoy. And I have that Steelbook library case for the David Gordon Green films. I'll take one out just to show you. Pretty cool. This is Lamberto Bava's box set. 4 films there. It's Horizon, Kevin Costner Western. Here's House of a Thousand Corpses, collector's version. The Happening. This is a movie that many folks did not like and make fun of. I think it's, I liked it. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film. Hell and High Water, High Tension, Hider in the House, The Original Haunting, Annie Calder, Hateful Eight, Hard Bodies, Human Experiments, Hot Moves, Heavenly Bodies, Humongous. This is a German import that has the correct version. It doesn't have the audio goof that Scorpion had. Here's the Houses of Doom set. House of Clocks, House of Witchcraft, Sweet House of Horrors, and House of Lost Souls. A great set of Fulci and Umberto Lenzi films from Cauldron Films. I gotta love Cauldron. They're great. The Heat Wave lasted 4 days. It's a Canadian film. Here's Hangar 18. Hollywood Chainsaw Hookahs. Heaven Can Wait. The Homesman. Hollywood Hillside Strangler, aka 90028. Here's a version of Hackers. It's a UK edition, 4K. And I also have the Out, steel. Pretty cool there. Ruggero Deodato's House on the Edge of the Park from '88. Also from '88 is Hollow Man 1 and 2. Here's Hands of Steel. Hayao Miyazaki, the collected works of Hayao Miyazaki. This is was an Amazon exclusive. These are anime films. I'm sorry, animated films. Haunted House of Horror. It's a UK film and a UK release. House on Sorority Row on MediaBook. And I also have the MVD Rewind Collection version. That's Harem. This film is pretty good. This is an excellent film from 1991 called Haunted, if I can get it out. It's with Aidan Quinn. It's a film about, it's a ghost story. It's excellent. Actually 95, and it's not available anywhere in the States, but Imprint saw fit to license it and release it. Thank you, Imprint. That's High Road to China with Tom Selleck. The Hunter, Steve McQueen. Harpoon, a whale horror movie. Howl, the awesome Hostage with Bruce Willis. Hobbit trilogy. I love this film. These films are pretty good. I enjoy these as much as I do the Lord of the Rings films. I'm not into Harry Potter, but I did grab this 8-film set on 4K. This is a horror flick called Hell. I forgot what it's about. Hannah, this is a UK steelbook. Interesting film. Great looking steel. Hyena in the Safe. Celluloid Dreams. That's Hannibal. Hustle. Horror High and Stanley double feature. Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Hot Dog the Movie. House of the Devil. Hard Target with the sequel in it, I think. Got the sequel. Is there a sequel? Yeah, I believe so. This is a UK exclusive. The Horseman, Australian film. Australian revenge film. Pretty good. Pretty brutal, too. This is High Crime. I enjoyed that one. Franco Nero. Here's In the Heart of the Sea. Home Alone. House of Seven Corpses. House on Straw Hill. That's Hell of the Living Dead from Severin. How the West Was Won. Really good Western. That's Horizon Line. Hard Rain and Heart and Souls. Good movie. Her. The Studio Canal version of The Howling. Big beefy box. Initially, I did not like this sequel, Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, but I've come around to it. And now it's among my favorites in the series. Here's part 3, my least favorite. Here's 4, Original Nightmare. 5, The Rebirth, and 6, The Freaks. Haunt. Hard to Kill. Hobo with a Shotgun. Hellraiser series. That's Bloodline, Inferno, Hellseeker, and Hellworld. From Fun City Editions, this is Handgun. One of my favorites, The Heavenly Kid. Hunger Games Collection Library Case Steelbook. This was a Best Buy exclusive. And I have this version of the Hunger Games Steelbook. Pretty cool. Here is Hunger Games Songbirds and Snakes. That's House Collection. House with Laughing Windows. Excellent film. Good restoration. Hired to Kill. Nico Mastorakis film. Hiroshima. The House That Screamed. House by the Cemetery. Another House by the Cemetery release. This is a thick media book. Maybe you've noticed, but I am a big Lucio Fulci fan. Here's another version of House by the Cemetery media book. Horror Express. Heathers. That's Hitchhike from Indicator. Hitchhike to Hell. The Hitcher from Second Sight. Beefy box set. Looking good. Hitcher in the Dark. This is a Umberto Lenzi film from '88. Heat. Michael Mann. The Hole and Venom. Double feature. The Horde and Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. Higher Learning, Hills of Eyes, and the 85 version, part 2, the sequel. The remake, and part 2. That's hardcore there. George C. Scott. The Hidden. This is almost sure to get a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. Now that I have a deal with Warner. Hero and the Terror. History of Violence. Hellraiser Quartet of Terror. The excellent collection there from Arrow. Hellraiser Judgment. And Hellraiser 2022. Hobbs and Shaw. Hunter's Blood. Hell Knight. Another version of Hell Knight. Happy Birthday to Me. Heat. High Noon. Homebodies. The Hunted. Hot Spot. Hot Pursuit. High Plains Drifter. Hush. Humanoids from the Deep. House of Wax. House on Haunted Hill, the remake. Hellhole. The Hand. He Knows You're Alone. Haunting of Julia. The Hot Box. House That Dripped Blood. That's hardware from Umbrella in UK. Australia. Big beefy box on 4K. Looks good on 4K. That's Hard Boiled, the Shout version. House of Usher, 89. House that Where Death Lives. The Hearse, excellent film. House of the Dead. Jack-O-Lantern, 4K. Hellgate. And Hell Comes to Frogtown. Hell's Trap. Hollywood Horror House, and Hang 'em High. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it off here, and I will continue on with Chapter 3 on the eyes. So next time we meet, we will begin with the eyes, beginning with the innkeepers. All right, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.